tweet from Black Lives Matter co-founder Yusra Kogali that has raised eyebrows and concern. It reads, quote, "Please, Allah, give me strength not to cuss/kill these men and white folks."
Black lives, they matter here. Black lives, they matter here.
This is Kogali confronting the premier yesterday when Kathleen Wynne addressed Black Lives Matter's protesters at Queen's Park. Wynne promised to meet with the group to discuss its concerns about police and the SIU. As for Kogali's tweet, I spoke with Sandy Hudson from Black Lives Matter earlier tonight.
This is extremely frustrating and emotional for me because we slept outside for 2 weeks to get somebody to care about death in our community. And this is what you decide to focus on.
No, we focused on everything else that has gone on with the Black Lives Matter, but this is part of the whole story, though.
Has there been a story yet on Pierre Boni?
Has there been stories on Black Lives Matter? We've been live there almost every day.
That is a public interest story about another black life taken by police in Montreal. I am going to be talking about what is in the public interest with respect to black death in my community.
So are there any plans to apologize for the tweet?
Premier Kathleen Wynne has committed to having a public conversation with us. And what would be really wonderful, is if media would talk to her about what those plans are going to be. She is the premier. She's accountable to the people. The SIU has not been accountable to the people, and that's what you should be focusing on.
Now, Sandy Hudson went on for several more minutes, but refused to actually comment on the tweet from Yusra Kogali.
But then we recently got some very interesting news. I'm not even going to say too much, actually. Let's just listen to this. Okay.
You know, in my tradition, you offer things that your loved one who passed away would want, you know, whether it's like honey or tobacco, or things like that. And it's so important, not just for us to be in direct relationship to our people who've passed, but also for them to know we've remembered them. We should be honoring them in all the ways, whether it's protesting through art, you know, through putting up signs on the freeway. Like they want us to remember them because they know what they know what it takes for them to be remembered. So it's a very important practice. Hashtags for us are way more than a hashtag. It is literally almost resurrecting a spirit so they can work through us to get the work that we need to get done.
Right. You said a lot of things important, but you said something important about remembering them. And I also feel that even beyond remembering them, we're invoking them, right? So this is an invocation, right? This is a recognition but what's happened as we invoke these names, it's the invocation of their names that goes beyond remembering them, but also in our tradition, when we call out our ancestors, we call them out for specific purposes.
I think of a lot of things. The first thing I think is that we actually do have an ideological frame. Myself and Alicia in particular are trained organizers. We are trained Marxists. We are super versed on sort of ideological theories. And I think that what we really try to do is build a movement that could be utilized by many, many Black folk.
I've been honored and humbled to throw down with folks over the last 7 to 8 months in the name of Black Lives Matter. And I've been really humbled by our co-conspirators, Asians for Black Lives.
The CPA is the Communist Party of China's main West Coast support group. Pam Ta Lee is an Asian for Black Lives member and a CPA leader.
I'm the chairperson and a founder of the Chinese Progressive Association. That our roots start back in the 1930s, who were our mentors. And they came out of around the Depression, and they were socialists, they were communists.
Alex Tom is a founder of Asians for Black Lives and a former chief executive officer of the CPA.
There is a part of the left that has always been really curious and lifting up the role of China. So that is like The Chinese Progressive Association was one of the first organizations to even lift up the revolution in Chinatown, right? Our history basically is founded on people's friendship in China.
In 2013, Alex Tom led a delegation of American radicals to communist China.
We started to be able to have access to coming into China. So we built relationships with people in the party, activists underground, and also NGOs.
In 2016, Alex Tom and CPA official Lucia Lin produced a 300-page revolutionary manual for Asians for Black Lives and BLM activists. Alex Tom has known BLM co-founder Alicia Garza since their student activist days at UC San Diego in the late 1990s.
Actually, I think it was my friend Alicia Garza.
Alex Tom helped Garza and fellow BLM founder Patrice Coolers form ties with the Southeast Asian Freedom Network, a coalition of Laotian, Cambodian, and Vietnamese radicals. Alex Tom, Alicia Garza, Lucia Lin, and Pam Ta Lee are all members of Left Roots, a front for the pro-communist China organization Liberation Road. In 2014, after traveling to communist China with Alex Tom, Lucia Lin visited Ferguson, Missouri, with her BLM comrade, Alicia Garza. Lin and Garza met with Liberation Road communist Jamala Rogers' Organization for Black Struggle, the Liberation Road front group that organized the Ferguson riots.
You are powerful. You can make a whole difference in 2016. You can change the reality of our time. This is the time for us as American Muslims to be in the front, not to retreat, because all of you are leaders. Your votes are your negotiating power in the year 2016. Turn your centers, Islamic centers, mosques, into registration centers for voters. Black Lives Matter is our matter. Black Lives Matter is our campaign.
Basically, you are the new black people of America. If we don't stand, you will see Muslims murdered in the streets. We are the community that staged a revolution across the world. If we could do that, why can't we have that revolution?
.io